is going to be very ineffective for Nemesis.
Right. Twofold. You're also taking it away from Trix Tank.
That's true.
So that's a huge deal. I know we keep mentioning it, folks, but Trix Tank Sun Wukong is one of the perennial pair-ups that you really get to see. It's akin to like Shing's Loki or whatnot. It is so strong. So it is incredible. Really incredible. That said, Nemesis, you mentioned it's a counter pick. She also does well on her own without being a counter pick. So that's what keeps her up top. So she'll be able to impact the game, perhaps not as much as she would with against a full tanky lineup. But how do you feel about the jungler?
I feel that Humbots is decent, but Bastet's still available. There's other characters I think I still probably would have looked at first. Humbot's still definitely decent, but against this lineup of Nemesis is hard to catch. Ymir doesn't care about the ultimate. Shiba Lanke probably won't care with beads up. Agni is a great pickup as well. I think this might have been a little bit early for this. And then finally, Ra going to be picked up. I like the Ra pick because it's not Sobek, and it also hurts Variety's God Pool.
Yeah, it's not quite Sobek, so we'll most likely see that. Well, with Lobster on the team picking that Agni, we're definitely going to see Ra in the solo lane. Zelia, a player that's not really known for the Ra.
Right.
But Zelia plays pretty much everything at a really competent level. Bakasura banned pretty much at
Arachne going to be locked in. Now, the Hunbots might be solo here, as we saw Cyclone spin, but I'm going to assume that Arachne is going to be the solo laner here. She's a little bit safer, has the sustainability to deal with Ra. Hunbots has no clear potential against the Sun God.
See, I'm gonna have to say that we're gonna see. Hunbats in the solo lane. It makes more sense. Arachne's clear is so much harder to get for. It's sort of like a Bakasura clear. So I'm gonna like to see that. That said, here we are in the game, and Variety is going to be making his way on that Arachne into the solo lane.
This is a name that I don't know. Swan. Was he there last week?
He was not. So
is this a sub or is this a replacement? This should be Ninja Demi, Ninja Bobat.
Yeah, Ninja Demi.
There's a ninja there somewhere.
Ninja Demi was the jungler for Team Dignitas in the past. So we're gonna take a look at Schwan and see what he can do. I'm gonna guess it's a sub.
Is that what we're calling him? Schwan? I think I'm gonna call him Humbots.
Hungry Bats?
Hungry Bats.
I'm gonna go with Schwan. I kind of like Schwan. But the Hungry Bats right here, one of my favorite junglers, Brandon. Very often we see junglers a la Fenrir, like we just saw, though we talked a little bit about the disparity between the two teams and why he was able to do what he was able to do for so long. But a lot of times you see the assassins, they do what they do, and then mid-game they kind of die. Well, Hungry Bats is able to always ult.
So check it out. We have a double Hand of the Gods option here for topside. I want to see Dignitas invade here. If you're going to pick up double hand, you got to use it well. They were spotted on right. I think they recognize there's a ward, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Cubo Fred not going to find anything here. Oh, but he walks back into the ward. He didn't know it was there. They'll go for blue, though. This should be guaranteed.
Yep. So we're going to see Variety get a couple of basic attacks, suffer a couple of basic attacks coming out from Zelia. Yeah, that's going to be 2 or 3 right there. So.
Uh-oh, invade. Full invade coming out from Dignitas. Very low is Lobster. First blood goes to Dig.
Frezzo gets the kill out of Lobster. That'll be pretty big. Plus, the red is on the floor. We'll see who that goes to, but they are going to be able to pick up this purple buff right here.
I love this on right side. They forced out nothing, right?
Yep.
Nothing happened. So as long as they can maintain some clear, they can still pressure the jungle. Cubo Fred has taken a lot here. Variety answering beautifully. Those babies doing work.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Arachne is easily underestimated at those early levels with the babies and the passive just way too much. And now they're going to go ahead and rotate over the blue. I like it, but Youngbay picks a fun ball.
No, they're baiting on right side. Cubo Fred could be in some trouble here. Baby's going to go off there. It's Alia trying to heal up as much as he can. It looks like they're going to answer back beautifully. Raw heal used perfectly, and Variety takes the brunt of that engagement.
Yeah, definitely a little bit interesting coming out from right there. Slowing down with the Ra is Zelia, and it looks like they're going to get the kill onto Schwan. Double dash, not enough. No slice and dice available for Cubo Fred, so going to go ahead and kill him.
What is this? Is that Shadow Nightmare?
Shadow Nightmare making the early rotation.
Is he lost?
He walked right into Cubo Fred's slice and dice.
Is he crazy?
It looks like he really wanted to make the impact over there with the team. And
he made an impact just for the wrong team.
Wanted to help out his Arachne. We talked a little bit about Arachne's clear is going to be a little bit problematic in the early game, so Shadow Nightmare wanted to help him out.
This is a really big loss in the mid. He's going to lose an entire wave of experience and gold. Even with that portal, I mean, he might have gotten some experience. He might see like 50 experience from that wave, but that's a huge drop there. And despite the double pressure into the wave right there, I mean, Shadow Nightmare winds up throwing the early lead for his team. They were up by over 1,000. Now it's only 300, and now there's no blue buff for Variety.
Yeah, Variety definitely has to watch out. Already at a disadvantage. Level 3
no.
to Zelia's level 4. And
F-Tot.
yeah.
Variety went into teleport, and he doesn't have Bluestone.
That's going to be a little bit problematic. He has the Death's Toll. This is an item that we haven't really seen much of.
I mean, it's decent. It gives you a small amount of healing, small amount of mana, but not nearly enough sustain. I mean, given the fact that Venomous Bite is going to help him out through his early laning phase, he really needed more mana than anything. And going up against Ra, there's just no clear potential. I mean, he's just going to hold that.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for that big time this time around. Zelia sort of comes in on the right hand side, already level 5. You know, and we talked a little bit earlier about this. Zelia, you know, people know him for his raw snipes, but recently not really known for the raw play, known for the Bakasuras and the beat 'em up god. So sort of a throwback right here from Zelia. Really not known for this sort of stuff lately.
Well, mid camp spawn, left side goes to red, right side goes to blue, and with that, it looks like Trixtank still level 4, way down there. Frezzo stealing this away. I mean, getting that Wukong in the pick phase is so important.
Yeah, over here we hear the
What
Cupid
in
ult
the
go out.
world?
We heard it.
I
There was
mean,
nothing to be seen though.
Why would he do that during the dash? I mean, he needed to get that off so much sooner. Big misplay on the left side coming out from Youngbei. I think he might be a little bit nervous.
I mean, that is definitely something that could be seen. We're going to take a look at his opponent in that Shibalankia Funball. This is sort of a matchup.
Youngbei can back here. Desglows are done. Taking a look at his opponent here. Still needs a lot of gold. That First Blood really doing well for him.
Solo lane Zelia taking out so much damage from Variety, but now he's able to turn it around. The slow is good, and so is the Celestial Beam. Zelia wants to get in. There's the ultimate from the Hungry Bats. Lands on him as a spider. Probably going to take a lot from the tower. The ultimate's out. Not enough to really hit. And that's going to be that. Variety taking hits from the minions, but not going to claim his life.
He actually almost wound up falling there. A little bit lucky that tower didn't turn to him as quickly as it might have. So sustaining for now, both Variety and Schwan is going to get pushed out here. Cubo Fred rotates over to help Zelia. He'll probably just kind of hold this lane down. Ooh, actually stops the back. Divine Judgment is online. This could be big.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more aggressive points where he's got to be. Cubo Fred taking the tower hit.
If Variety backs here, he's guaranteed to lose the entire wave. There's no Gladiator Brute in the front there. He's going to lose a massive amount of golden experience. Zelia and Cubo Fred with a good play. Left side, Steel coming out as Frezzo manages to take away the purple buff. That's going to hurt Shibalanke big time.
That's going to hurt Shibalanke huge. That's pretty much his entire reason for being powerful as he is. There's a couple of different changes there, but that basic attack buff on the side of his map, it makes him so strong with those bolas. That said, middle lane, ultimate out onto Schwan. He's going to dodge the ultimate coming out from Agni, but a good flame wave, and Lobster gets the kill. 2-2.
You know, I expected Dig to kind of take this one away, but suddenly, you know, Trig has 500 experience in their favor. They're only down by 200 gold, and now Zelia, who's completely shoved out Variety, forced him into a teleport. I mean, the build is not going to help there. We need to start seeing rotations come out from Variety ASAP, but to do that, he's going to have to finish the teleport, which means he's going to be very, very far behind.
Definitely. The teleport, we talked a little bit about the game of
Zelia,
chicken that happens in those solo lanes. We take a look at Zelia again, just throwing down the heels, making the right decisions. That's really what you can expect out of this player. Like I said, really just able to do the right thing most of the time, even with something like Sobek. We talked a little bit negatively about that pick, but able to do what he wants. The rotation coming out from Giannis, or maybe just an escape route.
I think this is they were looking for something, maybe even just a pressure, but instead they're going to turn their sights to the Gold Fury. Trixtank not ready to let this one go. He will stop the overall pressure, but Lobster rotating back out. I'm surprised we didn't see them go back for it. Left camps are respawn. They go to red. Right side looks like they're going to go to red as well as Dignitas rotates right through.
Was that an elaborate push out just to get the mid camps?
I mean, honestly, I don't see how. I mean, Ymir rotated to stop it, but then Trixtank backed. Didn't gain anything, and now Dignitas gaining their lead even farther.
Interesting choices there coming out from Team Dignitas. You know, I kind of want to go and venture a guess that the Giannis ult was really just a ploy to really get those mid camps. I don't think that's too far-fetched, and I want to give credit to Team Dignitas for that one. So interesting stuff coming out right there, and that's going to earn them a little bit of a start.
Thought there was going to be a steal there, almost got it. It looks like Schwan was still able to get that one, even without the Hand of the Gods usage to execute.
Right.
So with that, Variety will have at least a little bit of relevancy in lane, but he is pretty far behind there, level 8 to level 9, and we almost have a level 10 Xaylia.
Yeah, Xaylia definitely doing what he's supposed to do in this lane. We talked a little bit about how Variety, or you want to see a little bit more out of Variety.
I think he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Xaylia definitely one of the more uphill battles for him to face. You talk a little bit about the perennial solo laners coming out from Europe, and Xaylia's always in that conversation.
I think he's alone in that conversation for Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been Xaylia and NQ, and these days without NQ playing in the professional scene, it's pretty much just Xaylia across the pond over in Europe. So definitely something that Variety has to work up to gain. He doesn't exactly have an easy competition, and right now this fight is showing it.
Oh, Xaylia could be in some trouble here. Baby's doing a lot of work there, but no cooldowns coming out from Variety. Not going to have that Venomous Bite. Not going to have that web that he needed or the Cocoon. So, honestly, I mean, he gets away safely. Not doing super well in the mono department, but Xaylia could back here. Left side,
fight
huge
in the
trouble.
left-hand line. Stun comes out. Young Bay just barely missing.
Happy New Year.
There it is. Gets a little bit of a heal, but that's going to be the basic or two coming out from Cuvo, claiming the life. Now he's stuck. Ultimate coming out from Hun Bats. He's got nowhere to go, folks. Getting hit left and right, and who's going to claim it is more like it. Shadow Nightmare gets the kill onto him one more time. So great rotation from the mid laner as Lobster sort of deviates and doesn't really follow the team as he should. So he's going to go ahead back to his lane and do what he can.
You know, as a side laner, solo or duo, it's very frustrating to have a Janus in the mid lane on the enemy team, just because it's like, why didn't you rotate? Oh, it's just
Yep.
Funball, I think his dash is... Oh, dash be damned. He's down.
Schwan claims another life, so the unknown jungler comes through. 1-1-1 reads the splash line for the monkey as he starts building into his Jotun's Wrath. We should see this tower. This tower is not going to fall as Trig's tank shows up just in time, playing the Ymir. So interesting stuff coming out on that side. And again, we see the Doom Orb. Lobster, 50 stacks up on that. Great choice.
And that's on Agni. I mean, he's going to be swinging right now. I mean, you got to be nervous for him to hit that. Rainfire going to be hitting somewhere in the neighborhood of like 250 damage at this point. Not 4, excuse me. 250, maybe even a little bit higher. I mean, that's going to be very scary. So he hits all 3. Of course, that was unmitigated. But he hits all 3. You're looking at 500, 600 damage. And honestly, no one can deal with that amount of pressure at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage coming out from that Agni. And I mean, with the dash, he's already one of the more safe mid mages. So definitely something the enemy team wants to be aware of. And frankly, abused. When you see a Doom Orb come online, Brandon, that should be a giant target on that player's back.
But it's Agni.
Yeah, I mean, even still, Team Dignitas should make a concentrated effort to get this Agni down. It's just like when you see a Mercury with Heartseeker stats.
That's true. That's true. But, you know, those two characters, most notably Agni, since we're talking about him here, they're not easy targets.
Right.
He's extremely mobile. He has a great stun, huge AoE. Not to mention, if you overcommit, the damage he puts out could turn it right back into you in a second.
A lot of times we see that. I mean, we saw it last matchup. Agni killed some people with his dash, trying to get away, kills people with the dot from the Path of Flames.
Path of Flames does a lot of damage.
You know, Path of Flames actually does more damage than
Flame
Wave?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just, you know, it's a dot. It's over time. So the final is actually going to wind up hitting for 60 per tick. It's going to tick 4 times, plus 15%. It does a lot. I mean, it does a whole lot.
I mean, that's why you level it first to really get as much damage you can onto the minions as you take out the early camps. And left-hand side, they want to take out the minions as well. Funball and Trig's tank outnumbered here as the jungler Hun Bats hanging out in the duel lane. Team Dignitas really wants this tower.
Yeah, right side, Variety getting locked down underneath the tower himself. You can see Xaylia still sitting about half mana. I think he's going to go for the push here. It looks like he's moving up. Heal going to come down. The smart play by Variety here is, yes, use the Hand of the Gods as fast as possible and make sure that he can clear it up. But he has a minute now until that's going to be back up. He's equal in level, but he's definitely down in experience. Next wave going to spell level 3 ultimate for Xaylia.
Yeah, definitely something.
Oh, Janus ult coming in. No, they're gonna stop there. They're going to stop.
They're going to watch out for it right there as they take a look at the left-hand side. Variety having a little bit of trouble. Xaylia doing well with his throwback character on that run. Already down to about 20%, 30% on that solo lane tower. So something Variety has to watch out for.
Why is Xaylia allowing him to do that? We should have seen the heal come out so much sooner. I don't know why we saw Xaylia wait there, but even so, they'll have safe pressure into the jungle here. I don't think either side is at risk of losing their blue.
No, without a doubt, that should be very, very safe for both jugglers and solo laners to pick up. Hunbatz is going to drop this for Variety. As we take a look at the long lane, Funballer just tossing out those bolas and that poison, just able to provide so much distance for himself. Doesn't really need the support. We take a look at the player damage, and Xaylia leading all players by about 900, 49 to 3,000. So.
I mean, that's what he's supposed to be doing. It really should be a bigger disparity at this stage. But Xaylia, in fact, I think has been playing a bit too casually and is allowing Variety to start getting pretty big. From Xaylia, though, let's take a look at the items. You see he has gone into full CDR. He's going for that, I guess, more unique support. Agni left side, a lot of damage coming through as you see the Gold Fury actually getting pretty low, but will be reset. Agni taking some damage himself, but answering back beautifully. Schwan not in a good spot, but there are dumplings on the ground as well for him to take a bite out of. Janus going to be forced away here, and with the ult down, I think this is going to be the Gold Fury. Yeah,
it should be a free Gold Fury for Trig Esports. And right here, Brandon, I really like the choice to go for the cooldown boots as we see it all in from Trig to really get this Gold Fury here. I like... Hi, Sun Wukong.
It's just hilarious. Like, nope, never mind.
Is.
Sorry, guys. See you later.
I like the pick of the cooldown boots on Agni because of the Doom Orb.
Right.
You have so basically right here, me and Brandon were talking earlier about how you really don't want to go the cooldown boots on gods that are on mages that aren't really support driven. Well, with that huge damage bank with the Doom Orb, you can afford yourself to go the cooldown reduction boots, which is a bonus no matter what, as long as you keep the stacks up. So 1-1-0, as long as that first number goes up and that second number doesn't go up, you should be good, and Agni should see a successful game.
You're looking at 9 seconds off the whole 60-second return on the bombs, which could wind up being life or death. I mean, 17 versus 20 could spell life or death. And that's very important. Are we going to see a Chronos Pendant come out eventually? It's possible, but first things first, Golden Sash. Now, this has a few purposes here. Now, Golden Sash could go into Ethereal Staff, although that's a bit weak. It could go into Warlocks, although it's a bit late. And it could go into Gem of Isolation, which, in my opinion, might even be a little bit early. So it'll be curious to see what he decides to go for here, but any item could wind up being pretty effective.
It's an interesting spot right here, Brandon. You usually see Warlock Sash come out first or second, and then once you're in the third, you're in that mid-game, and then fourth or fifth, you build an Ethereal Staff pretty much if you didn't buy a Warlock Sash. It provides sort of the same idea without the stacks, but a little less efficient, and that's sort of like the thought process between those two items. So seeing this in the third spot, it's very curious. I guess we'll see a Gem of Isolation, but again, as you said, a little bit early. So I'm very curious to see this. That said, Lobster's doing very well, and I like to see the evolution of these builds because he's pretty much on the forefront.
Variety chooses not to use his off-cooldown teleport to save the Tier 1 tower. He'll save it for rotation possibility, but with the Gold Fury down, a rather curious choice to me. He's going to lose his Tier 1. That would be the first structure to fall this game, and it looks like Trig, despite their early faults, has taken back the lead entirely. 1,400 in gold, 1,000 in experience. As left side gets pressured, Frezzy could be in trouble.
Yeah, Frezzy able to really use the animals to get out of there, no problem. Cat stun, not the fastest way, but definitely a good way to get out of there. And get out of there he does. He pops a potion or two and starts to heal up a little bit. Hungry Bats blowing the ultimate, though, in the middle lane, and Xaylia's going to make the rotation, get the kill onto the jungler.
Yeah, that really good rotation coming out from Xaylia. Knew that he had the pressure. I don't see Janus being able to hold this one. Mid tower getting pressured. Mid tower will go down. Cubo Fred taking some damage here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really stop him. Fields of Love not going to proc there as the Spirit Gun comes through and shows some damage there to Cubo Fred, who maintains relevancy. Youngbay not going to be able to find the kill. Whoa, but they're going in. Variety looking for blood here.
Interesting choice as Youngbay picks up another, this time on a Trig tank. So now no support for the guys on Trig, but they're still pushing forward. Those long-range Doom Orb ultimates coming out from Lobster. Just so scary. And right there, the turnaround, Brandon, that we saw, that is the difference between Xaylia, a veteran solo laner, and somebody new. He knew exactly when to rotate, knew exactly how to come in, control the situation, which admittedly Team Dignitas had control of at first.
That's true, but 4-6, they maintain a small loss in kills, but they're still doing a great job in gold. They extend their lead there, another 400 it seems. They might have lost about 100 gold in that engagement, considering it was worth 500 to get the tower.
Right.
But honestly, I'm sure they're not too mad about it. Trig's staying alive.
Yeah, Trig definitely staying alive right now. They have all their towers up. long lane tower a little bit low, but still standing, whereas Team Dignitas only has 4 towers remaining. The middle lane tower and the solo lane tower have been taken out by the guys in blue, so Trig Esports doing rather well in the structure conversation. Pretty much just returning to a bit of normalcy as we see a little bit of buff killing and just sort of general laning, Brandon. This is the transition to the true mid game, almost to the late game. Really, where are these teams looking for to make their next move?
Honestly, I thought they were going to make their next move in duo lane here as Trixtank had the blink opportunity and didn't take it. Youngbay did not have his dash up. Fields of Love could have done something, but that for all intents and purposes should have been a kill. Trixtank in the jungle here. I don't know if he's getting back. Oh, what? Frezzy just missed a cudgel on a standing target.
Yeah, Frezzy.
That is a very small club he has just joined.
Frezzy not able to quite hit that, but he gets the slow on the passing Nemesis, just sort of saying hi. And Frezzy right here is being a ward. That's what he's doing right here. They have the Gold Fury warded a little bit, and right now he's just providing vision aggressively. He wants to make sure that the enemy's not really anywhere where they're not supposed to be, and Azalea makes this turnaround. Great dodge of the stun. Here he comes, and there he goes. Frezzy a little bit slowed right now and shouldn't be in too much trouble, but they're looking to start a fight. The guy's on Trig.
I really thought we were going to see the Divine Judgment there.
Yeah.
Cubo, unbeknownst to me, chooses to not go for it. Gold Fury going to be spawning in a few seconds with the support dead. They could have went for it, but he's still alive. Wall going to be down here, and it looks like Frez is going up.
Frezzy up in the ultimate, want to send out that decoy towards the enemy team.
Eyes on
jump
Youngbay
backwards. Very, very, very tricky right there. Variety's in the backhand line, though, all by himself, trying to flank, I guess, but now he's down to about 10% HP. Really nowhere to go. Wall's thrown up, but Spider goes right over it. Zelia gets the kill! And folks, that's what Zalia's known for. I said he wasn't known for Ra lately, because he's not. But when he was known for Ra, that's what he's known for. Through the multiple wall shots. There he goes, takes it and gets the kill. And because of that, Trig Esports able to pick up the gold.
Schwan and Youngbay still had their ultimates there. Choose not to go for it. Zoned out just by Cubo. Fred, a rather curious engagement there for Dignitas as they fall even farther behind. 3,100 gold for Trig. 15, now 1,700 experience. 4-man grouping in the left side with only Frezzy staring this down. Now he shouldn't have too much trouble cleaning these archers up, but there's another wave coming, and it looks like they're going right for it.
Yeah, I mean, so Funball has really been leveling his bolas in this situation, which allows him to just dominate these towers. Already about 50% HP, but the battle rage is on the backhand side. Trixtank goes down to the Giannis. We're going to look for more damage coming out from Zelia. He's able to just walk past as the Hunter does a smart thing and stays out of the fight and kills the tower.
I don't agree. I think that was a bad play there by Trig. They wind up taking a 500 gold tower, sure, but they lose at least 300 gold from Trixtank. Maybe a little bit less, maybe closer to 250, but I mean, still, the effectiveness of the gold from the tower is wasted, and now they put themselves against a huge power play. Variety going for the gank here. He might have it, and then Frezzy goes in to try to create some distance. What are we going to see from the Spider?
There we go. The ultimate is on it. We're going to see nothing as he gets taken out. Shadow Nightmare does take out his enemy mid laner, though. And 3 members of the Trig are going to fall back against 4 members from Team Dignitas. Look at that. Look at that cheeky portal. Love it. Love the play coming out from Giannis right there, knowing the intricacies of the map. And Frezzy deleted by Zelia. Zelia doing so well on this raw pickup. 4-0-1, and he's not done yet. Gonna hit Youngbay with the snipe. Hit Schwan, but it's just not enough. He'll hit B, he'll go back, and level 19, leading the game in levels. He'll go ahead, pick up a Lotus Crown, and the beginning of a lost artifact.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot here. Now, for me, he already has the CDR, so it's definitely not going to be a Chronos Pendant. It's way too late in the game for a Doom Orb, and he already has penetration online. So for me, that, like you said, looks like Rod. The issue there is he's building Rod into shoots of focus and Lotus Crown, which means it won't be as effective. I think here I would have rather seen a Soul Reaver.
Okay.
100 damage, you know, plus the 15% to try to burst somebody down. Rod will do well, though, considering it is going to affect his heals greatly.
Yeah, it'll definitely make a good stopgap for the lack of the power that he has. The little power that he does have will be boosted, and I mean, frankly, he doesn't have any trouble hitting people. He's leading player to player damage by about 2,000.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of that's just maybe even ineffective poke on Arachne.
Of course.
You know, Arachne sitting in the heel, taking a beam, and then
Well
Venomous biting it all back up. I mean, the trade wasn't really there, so maybe a little bit skewed on the damage charts. For me, I think the most effective damage has been Shadow Nightmare, 11k. But, I mean, when you compare that to how much healing we've also had from Ra,
Right.
which is incredible, he's actually put up 13,000 in healing. He is by far the most effective character on the
Right-hand
map,
side.
really showing brilliant play with Ra.
Variety caught out a little bit. Keep in mind, he does have that ultimate available, so they're going to put a lot of pressure on him and walk away. That's why you don't see the ultimates come out onto that Arachne right away, Brandon.
Right.
Because you throw out the ultimate from the Nemesis, you throw out the ultimate from Zelia, the Arachne finds himself at 10% HP and ults and runs away. So you don't really want to blow too much on the spider.
I'm sorry, did Hunbats go into third item Titan's Bane?
Yes.
That's awkward and maybe even largely incorrect. This early, they're not pushing towers down. The penetration not going to help, from an absolutely raw standpoint. He already has some coming out from Jotun's Wrath, and given the fact that there's not a lot of physical protection coming out on the other side, of course there is a Sovereignty, there is a Lotus Crown, fine, and there is a Breastplate of Valor. I mean, he needs to have burst damage, and this is not going to give it to him.
No, it's definitely not. You want to see more of a lot of times we see a Deathbringer in this spot
Yes.
to synergize with the passive of Hunbats. He's got a 30% chance of getting a crit after an ability used. So usually we see a Deathbringer in that spot. The Titan's Bane is pretty interesting. That's usually perks when you want to kill towers, but right now they want to kill players.
Ooh.
Shadow Nightmare just barely getting out of there.
Three.
Frezzy.
3 health. He got away with that. Janus just barely. Frezzy gonna fall. Janus's ultimate's gonna be down. Will they make an attempt at the Gold Fury? It's definitely in their favor given the fact that there's no hand 3 on the board right now that could really stop them. And really with one person just pressuring out, it's gonna come down to it. For me, eyes here are on Youngbei.
They're going for the fire. Trickstegen's going to blow the ultimate just in case. They want to burn this down as fast as possible. That's why you see the ults coming out. Here comes Schwann's ult, though. That's what we were talking about, the amount of implications that he could bring. Zelia got to heal up by himself on the outside. Still, the battle rage is on. No kills just yet, folks. Everybody's spaced out completely. Funball gets Schwann. Zelia gets Variety. That's going to be 2 dead, and it's a 5-on-3. All members of Trig Esports healing in the Ra heal. That'll also give the Lotus Crown heal. 5-on-3. Can they just take this, or will they look for the fight?
Well, Frezzy's coming back here. The portal's already down. Youngbei has no Fields of Love. Janus does have the Spirit Gun back up to make sure Frez can get in there, and they're not doing this fast enough.
There you go.
This, at this point, is way too risky. In fact, it's likely that Trig, if they align with this, is going to lose the Fire Giant. They're choosing a fight. Youngbei in a lot of trouble. Zelia misses the ultimate. Not going to have the pressure. I expect a full retreat here, but the heal is perfect.
And the Lotus
This
Crown
actually might keep them. No, they're going to back. We have 3 men backing. A Lobster hanging around to keep it safe, and it looks like Zelia is staying as well.
Yeah, just not enough to take out that Fire Giant. Smartly go ahead and leash it. They'll pick up these right-hand mid-cams just for some extension of their lead as we take a look at it. 24, almost 25 minutes in as we take a look at the graphs, just doing so well as Trig Esports, and they're winning by 4,300. But talking about that Zelia one more time, Brandon, in that last fight alone, 6,000 healing.
That's nonsense. He's at a smidge, and I mean a smidge. He's 38 below 20,000 healing at 25 minutes.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that he put up 15k damage. No one even relatively close to those 2 numbers combined.
And see, this is really what I'm talking about. It's sort of a departure of what, yes, it's what we've known Zelia to do way in the past. We're talking years ago. But these days, we're more known as Trig Esports takes the Gold Fury and almost Variety's life. They're actually going to go for it. They're going to chase. Not quite going to get it. But so Zelia used to be known for the Ra plays, the exciting Ra snipes. And then as we saw Season 1 and Season 2 come, we saw a lot more Vamana. We saw a lot more. Bakasura is really his. He brought Bakasura to the meta.
He did indeed.
He has turned into this aggressive, I kill you first player. These 2 picks that we've seen, the Sobek, we'll talk about if it worked later, but we see the Sobek and now the return to Ra. more of utility characters.
Right.
Is this because of the team, or is this just a natural progression?
Hard to say. I mean, Bakasura has a few matchups in which he gets dominated, most notably Aphrodite. But Trixtank right here, oh no, not going to get the ultimate off. Variety will live just barely as Frezzy trying to keep the peace over on the right side, forcing out Zalia. Zalia could be in some trouble. No ultimate from Schwan. No idea why either. Lobster going to be able to take down Youngbei. Beats still available here for Schwan if he needs to pressure forward. We're going to see Cubo Fred in a lot of trouble here as Frezzy goes up, saves himself for now. Zalia pretty much by himself here.
Yeah, Zalia takes one out, and Schwan with the number 2, I believe. Variety takes out Cubo, while Funball gets Variety on the backside. Funball looking forward at Shadow Nightmare, but he's able to Janus out of there. No problem.
Was that a 2 for 2? No, 2 for 3.
Yes, that was a 2 for 3 going the way of Trig Esports as they also take out Youngbei before the fight. Lobster met him in the jungle, took him out, no problem.
You know, I expected a lot more from Youngbei this game. He's 2-2-4 right now. He had first blood, got his Dev's Gloves on instantaneously. Oh,
nice stun.
Frezzy. That should and could be Fire Giant.
Yeah, that should undoubtedly be Fire Giant. We're going to see the monkey walk all the way home. Ymira's going to meet, Trixtank is going to meet his team over here at Fire Giant. They'll start it, Zalia will heal, and they'll be totally fine. Nobody can make it over there real quick enough, and you take a look across the board. Shadow Nightmare just used the ultimate. Who will he hit? No one.
Nobody. He's just trying to get there safely. If he went through that portal. He is so dead.
Yeah, Zalia goes ahead and gets the kill on that one. 8-0-2.
That could be a Phoenix.
Soul aiming for Trig Esports, and they are looking good this match. I think they're mad.
I think that was a 1 minute respawn timer.
Oh, yeah.
With Trixtank being level 15 right here and Zalia being level 20 with Lotus Crown and that heal maxed out with Rada Tahuti, there's really no pressure that could really stop them at this point. Their healing is way too much, and I love the heal usage there just to keep the creeps going. They're going to take the safe route and go over and take the left side as well. Their gold lead will extend with this for over 11,000 gold, and their gold in hands right now is incredible, with Agni having almost enough for an entire rod.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just an incredible play coming out from Trig Esports. Such an impressive on the backside. I mean, you take a look at Team Dignitas versus Team Pointless, and you might say that Dignitas is the better team, but Trig is playing better here, and I think it's mental acuity. I think you lose that round, and when you lose that match, you find yourself in a round in the third place match where, frankly, I don't think Trig Esports ever pictured themselves, and now they're just angry, and they're playing like they're angry, and that's why we see what we see. We see 10 assists on that jungler, on the Nemesis, who it's supposed to be like that, and 8-0-2 on the Zalia. I mean, this is what you come to expect out of Trig, and I think this is how they play when they're angry, Brandon.
So I think with Trig doing as well as they are, if they do win this game, they will wind up being probably the second seed overall if Panthera is able to win today's tournament against Pointless. If it's second place, I'd have to defer to the math, not sure 100%. But I can safely say that they're going to wind up in 2 different pools.
Yeah. It's definitely something they're going to look forward to in the third week of qualifiers. Trig Esports just trying to make their presence known and win this third place matchup. They're on the left side of the map with the Fire Giant buff on Cubo Fred, so he's got to be able to be careful. Or they have to be careful here on the side of Team Dignitas as they try to mount the defense, but they're playing the split play. They've got 3 in the left, 2 in the mid, and they're going to rotate over to this mid line as Cubo Fred tries to take out this Phoenix, and he does.
I love it. He had the backup there from Lobster. Looks like Infinite Web's going to be used there. Variety not going to have his ultimate as Youngbei is forced away again. Fist of the Gods coming out from Cubo with Lobster in the back. Rada to Hootie Adorn going to do a lot of damage, and certainly enough to pick up another kill. Magi still active for Variety. They're trying to clean up here as Frezzy gets low enough to go down. Trixtank trying to escape from the Phoenix will be able to live as well thanks to the raw heal. Phoenix down, 4 players down. His only line of defense is going to be Youngbei.
5 members deep, they're going to go ahead and take out that Phoenix, and as you said, the only line of defense is Youngbei. This is looking like it's going to be a Titan kill, folks. 30 minutes in, we're aggressing on. They kill Youngbei first. That's Funball style. The Deicide is out, and the Titan's going down. Trig Esports takes it in spades. This time, nowhere close to losing it against Team Dignitas.
Youngbei kind of learning there that home base, this is not tag. That place is not safe.
Yeah, Youngbei definitely taking it a little bit tough, but I mean, it was very, very interesting stuff coming out. You know, Trig Esports playing so well on that third place match. What's the difference between that match versus the match we just saw them play?
I think they were just caught out by the Fenrir, caught out by the Hell. They're so used to playing a certain meta, I don't think they adapt at all. The Guan Yu pick was, in my opinion, not